March, California voters will head to the polls to decide whether to overhaul the state's mental health system.
Proposition 1 would not only create new housing options for those who are chronically homeless and mentally ill, but also prioritize services for them like substance abuse treatment. CBS 8's Richard Allen here with what this measure aims to do and what the critics are saying tonight.
Well, that's right, and it is a big decision. Now, one of the primary goals of Prop 1 is to update California's Mental Health Services Act. That was signed into law 20 years ago. Now, supporters of the move say that our state's behavioral health crisis has shifted significantly over these past 2 decades, and how we fund it needs to change as well.
We're here because we have a crisis.
Governor Gavin Newsom making the case for Proposition 1, which aims to overhaul the state's current mental health system and also create a $6.4 billion bond, which would be used to fund 11,000 new behavioral health beds, as well as create more housing for homeless people, including veterans.
If we're really going to tackle the homelessness crisis, we have to invest in behavioral health, and Prop 1 does just that.
Josh Bohannon is with Father Joe's Villages, which serves thousands of unsheltered San Diegans every year, from meals to housing to supportive services. He says passing Prop 1 could transform the way California approaches the state's current homeless crisis and behavioral health crisis.
It's a new way of doing things, and but I think new ways are good things, and new things need to happen.
Specifically because the old way dates back to 2004.
Back in 2004, we didn't have the housing crisis that we have today, and housing is such a huge component to helping somebody with behavioral health. They need a stable place to live and recover.
He also points out to how much the behavioral health crisis has also shifted over the years, with new threats like fentanyl exacerbating the situation.
Prop 1 is really a way to help counties throughout the state accurately and correctly invest the funds on where they need to go.
What I see is it'll actually make the homeless crisis worse.
Paul Simmons is a mental health worker who's part of Californians Against Prop 1, a group dedicated to opposing this measure, which it deems huge, expensive, and destructive.
It is going to take away services from people who really need it.
Simmons believes that the current Mental Health Services Act is working and that Prop 1 would disrupt or defund current behavioral health services being offered by individual counties.
And I go back to Hippocrates. First, do no harm. This is going to do harm. You don't destroy a system just because it's not working as well as it could be.
He also says that while Prop 1 will create some additional housing, the addition of new behavioral health beds is not the solution.
A hospital bed is not a home.
Our lack of behavioral health resources is a tragedy.
Earlier this month, San Diego City Council voiced its unanimous support for Prop 1 through a resolution introduced by Councilmember Raul Campillo.
Passing Prop 1 saves us money in the long term because doing nothing, which we've been doing for a long time, is far more expensive.
So far, voters seem to support the move. A recent poll by the Public Policy Institute of California finds that 2/3 of likely voters would vote yes on the proposition. And while critics say they plan to continue their campaign,
we will keep fighting until March 5th, and then after March 5th, we will keep fighting.
Prop 1 supporters say the time for innovation is now.
The behavioral health crisis has changed, in the last few years. So what we provide needs to change as well.
And voters will be heading to the polls to vote on this proposition on Tuesday, March 5th. Now, for more information on both sides of this issue, just head to CBS8.com. Marcella?